Okay, so if the last episode was the least memorable episode, I think this is the most memorable one. That was Close Rick Counters of the Rick kind.
Definitely.
I really like this one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of things happened in this episode.
Alright, so tell me something vague about Ipax Morty, about whether he actually becomes a recurring character.
He's called Evil Morty.
Okay.
This is his debut episode.
Alright.
The second episode he was in has yet to exist.
Alright, cool.
It's now that I watch it again, it's interesting to hear some of the stuff that Rick says about Mortys in general.
Yeah, that's one thing that happens in this episode. We learn why Ricks need Mortys.
And no. What's interesting? He said, a cocky Morty leads to what was it? A cocky Morty leads to
bad things.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes me like I forgot about that quote until I thought about something else. What if Rick was the Rick from Evil Morty's dimension, and he did he taught him science and stuff, but then he abandoned him at some point, and Evil Morty's out for vengeance.
That's very possible, and it's a good lead into another thing in this episode. When Evil Rick was looking through Rick's memories, one of the memories he had was of Baby Morty, which doesn't make sense because he wasn't in that family's lives until 1 year ago, just said at the beginning. So there's a theory that Rick's original Morty died or something, and then
it could have been Evil Morty.
The story is something bad happened to Rick's original Morty, and then he went to Dimension C-137 to reunite in quotes with his family.
Because Rick from that dimension might have possibly died as well.
Yeah.
Because it seems like Ricks die a lot.
One thing is that it's not clear if Dimension C-137 is the one they were in at the beginning of this episode, or the one they were in at the beginning of the show, because we know that they're two different dimensions.
They have switched around a lot. At the beginning,
they switched around once.
Yeah.
So far, yeah.
Also, I was looked at the death screens, the ways that different Ricks died. One of them just died with his head up his own ass.
Yeah, I saw that one.
I was just I've never noticed that one. That's funny. And it's interesting now that I'm rewatching Rick and Morty. I feel like I'm noticing some things that I didn't notice the first time I watched through it, and that's always fun. You rewatch a series and you're like, hey, that's something I've never seen.
I think that really applies to this episode. Even with just background Mortys and Ricks.
Yeah, we saw the Cronenberg ones again.
Yep.
The Cronenberg Rick. There were Robo Ricks and Mortys.
Yeah, there's
a couple of different alien ones.
Themselves as a cowboy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Easily impressed.
You're easily impressed, Morty. I think that Rick's C-137 Morty is different in some way. He does seem to be more courageous and more thoughtful than the other Mortys. It seems like he's more willing to go out of the box than other Mortys are.
Could be, but I think that might also just be because he knows more. We don't know if all those Mortys who he helped out, if they knew why they were there or any of that. If they knew that the Ricks needed them for disguise.
Yeah.
We don't know.
It could also be sort of because Rick was still away from him so long. Maybe that has to do with it.
Could be.
I think it still holds with my theory that Evil Morty was Rick from the show's original Morty, but then again he abandoned him or something happened and Evil Morty went off on his own path to get revenge. So now that he lives with this Morty, he's kind of rubbing off on him, and this other Morty from C-137 is becoming more courageous and a better character, because it seems that way to me at least. I don't know, that's just what I feel like is happening. But I guess we'll find out maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, actually, Evil Morty, I was thinking that Evil Morty is probably more than likely just the Morty from that dimension that they were in. But because, Evil Rick said that, in this dimension I invented the slow clap. I can remember that. Yeah, but I think that's probably not true, because at the end, he took off the eye patch and pulled out the controller thing to blend in with the other Mortys, who are all going back to be sent back to their original dimensions. If he was sent back to his original dimension, and his original dimension was the one he just came from, it would be suspicious. So I think, he has a plan, probably.
We'll see what that plan is, maybe.
Guess that plan takes a while. We haven't seen him yet.
Yeah.
I mean, if he was abandoned in space by Rick in previous episodes, and then only now he enacts his plan, then something clearly held it back. Maybe it wasn't money. Maybe he didn't have the funds.
Which
he needed those Morty funds and Morty insurance.
Oh yeah, Morty insurance. Yeah. But one thing that I like about the show is that they realistically, I guess, portray what alternate universes would be like, but also they don't, because it's a very complicated thing.
For every dimension where Rick would have gotten murdered, it would have popped another dimension where they wouldn't have gotten murdered.
Exactly, yeah.
So just killing the Ricks would just make more Ricks.
For one thing, naming dimensions, it doesn't make sense as a thing to do, because new universes are constantly being created.
Right, I can see that.
And there would be different versions of the same Rick in the Council of Ricks that there are. There's an infinite number of them too. There are some inconsistencies.
Because there would be the Rick that discovered the council and the Rick that didn't always.
Yeah. And plus, because of the way the whole multiple universes thing works, the dimension where the Council of Ricks is, there are an infinity of that dimension too.
Oh, so Rick had a lot of problems by creating this council as well.
Yeah, I think the Rickest Rick was right about they wanted to get away from the government, so they made a government. That's not the only problem.
It might have been that they did something where they prevented universes from splitting up anymore.
I mean, if they made that excuse, then that'd be fine, because Rick can do anything.
Right, because you have
but they didn't.
Okay, we made about 1 billion universes. We can't make more than that, and they set a limit on how many universes.
But that sounds like the kind of thing Rick would figure out and try and figure out a solution to. Well, they just haven't mentioned yet. But it feels like something they could fix retroactively.
It could be something that the Ricks did to prevent more Ricks from showing up and taking over.
And the part where Evil Rick said, I've compiled all the Ricks from goodest to evilest.
Again, you can't do that.
You can't, there are an infinity of them.
Yeah.
Well, literally...
But I like the joke where he's this guy right here, weirdo.
Yeah, but because of the, thing with the dimension of Ricks, there are an infinity of Ricks. It would...
You couldn't do it.
You could try. You wouldn't get very far.
You probably would never finish it, because, again, they're always
I guess maybe it's just, maybe it's just, the most noticeable ones, the ones who, popped up, or discovered the council.
Although, I do like that bit of, probably unintentional continuity, where he said, rank them all from least to most evil. And because we learned in the last episode that, evil is something you can quantify with science.
Right, that is a bit of interesting continuity.
I don't think that was intentional, but it's...
I think all he did was, research their history of, fucked up things they've done.
But yeah, this...
In general, this was a really good episode.
This episode is a focal point. When you think of the series as a whole, you usually think of things that happened in this episode.
Yeah, it isn't one of my favorite episodes. That distinction would probably go with one of the earlier episodes, but it's still one of my favorites.
Remember that joke where they went to a bunch of different dimensions where there were, chairs sitting on pizza? And then, and using people as phones?
That was really clever. I like that scene.
That was pretty funny. They could have just stopped with pizzas ordering people, but no, they just kept going with the joke. Yep. That's what made it more funny.
And then they ended up in the dimension where everyone was chairs, and they were all looking at them funny.
I like the waiter chair.
The waiter chair was surprisingly
he was really calm about it. He's just I've seen people.
Hey, customer's always right.
maybe the.
And then they ordered phone food and then didn't eat it, and also didn't pay for it.
I mean, it seemed like Rick ate the phone sticks. He was more phone sticks.
Probably edible. Although I guess what's edible to a chair might be different for humans.
We don't even know what they run on. Do they have stomachs? Do they have something else? Who knows? I think maybe that waiter chair was some kind of interdimensional traveler. He's like, I've seen some stuff.
Should it's definitely possible.
Yeah, I mean the chairs might know about the other dimensions.
Well, where was Chair Rick and
Yeah.
Chair Morty?
Exactly. Where were they? Where's Pizza Rick and Pizza Morty? Where are Phone Rick and Phone Morty?
They were also murdered, although less gruesomely. I like the ending song. I like the music at the end. It had a nice feel, like evil Morty. Nice send off for him.
Oh yeah, and you may have heard. I may have said something about this to you at some point. I don't remember. But this episode is one that has a connection with Gravity Falls.
Oh yeah, I noticed that because I remember like seeing the. I remember the location where it's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
I didn't actually see things come out. I think I may have missed it. It was like pretty quick ending.
Yeah, but they did happen.
Yeah.
So to explain for anyone watching this video who doesn't know, an episode of Gravity Falls, someone opens a portal and a notepad, a pen, and a mug with a question mark on it fly into the portal in Gravity Falls. And in this episode, when Rick was like opening a bunch of different portals, a notepad, a pen, and a mug with a question mark on it fell out of the portal. Except this episode aired way before the Gravity Falls one. So.
Well, then again, Disney liked to really extend Gravity Falls' lifetime.
It was.
So they might have had the episode already written. It's just Disney's like, don't air it until 10 days later.
Yeah, I'm sure no, it was more than 10 days.
Oh yeah,
I'm certain.
My bad.
Yeah, but I'm sure the reference was intentional because Justin Roiland and Alex Hirsch are friends.
Yeah.
And also everyone else who makes cartoons, they all know each other.
Yep.
But
one big cartoon conspiracy.
Yeah. Like the thing with they were gonna make a secret code, but it never really worked out. I talked about that on Mist, right?
Speaking of which, watch Gravity Falls, but also watch Rick and Morty.
Yeah, they're all good.
I mean, I assume they already are watching Rick and Morty if they're watching the Mist.
Probably.
Yeah. Don't
these are spoilers.
Don't watch these videos if you haven't seen the episode already.
None of this will make sense otherwise.
Yeah.
We'll just spoil jokes over and over.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, you should experience the jokes first before you actually listen to us.
Yeah, so the people noticed the stuff falling out of the portal in this episode, that's weird. And then when the Gravity Falls episode came, I bet I hadn't watched Rick and Morty at the time, but I bet when it happened they were like, "Whoa, hey."
Does that mean there's a Gravity Falls Rick and Morty?
Yeah, probably.
So somewhere in that world,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, there is Rick and Morty in the world of Gravity Falls.
Wait, confirmed?
I mean, maybe they're just regular people.
It's confirmed that most universes have a Rick and most Ricks have a Morty.
It could be that.
So you can guess that if a universe exists, there is an about 80% chance that Rick and Morty are there.
So it could just be in the Gravity Falls universe, Rick and Morty never were there.
That makes me want to add Rick and Morty to a lot of cartoons. SpongeBob, Rick and Morty.
Yeah,
although it might still be on land, which would be lame.
Yeah, they would be live action then.
That'd be lame.
You could just see Justin Roiland and
Justin Roiland and Justin Roiland, because they're both he voices both of them.
He'd be both Rick and Morty. It's like that one Insanity Bubble in Gravity Falls where they became their live action counterparts. If that happened to Rick and Morty, they'd just both become Justin Roiland.
So that was that episode, I think.
Yeah, that episode.
There were a lot of things to say about that episode.
A lot of things that did happen.
Let's move on.
Okay.